For the initiation in Pledge of Allegiance, let us call Toastmaster Rai.
Before we start, let's invite the presence of our Lord. Heavenly Father, thank you for making this meeting possible. Thank you for uh, thank you for giving us an opportunity to share, to lead, even in these trying times. Thank you for the lead. Thank you for the leadership of our President Sedi, for he gave us a blueprint on how to maintain our club virtually. Bless our outgoing president in any endeavors he will take, for he is a gift to all of us and made us a better person in the time of pandemic. Lord, bless our club and the incoming leaders. Use them as your tool to spread your love and care to all those who wanted to be a better version of themselves this 2021 to 2022. Use the Toastmasters platform for them to spread optimism in these trying times. May you bless our meeting, dear God, and may this meeting be fruitful and fill our hearts with love. All this we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Please raise your right hand. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, early to prepare all my speech and leadership projects to the best of my ability, basing them on Toastmasters educational program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. You may now put your hands down. I now return the control to the President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rai. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. And in our tonight's meeting, this is something we look forward to. And let us first have thank our guests and guests from other clubs who made this tonight. Thank you so much for visiting our club and expect some learnings from our dearest Toastmasters. Now, I would like to introduce you our Toastmaster of the day, who is a financial advocate. She is our immediate past area director from Area 63, and with her diligence, she was awarded as the Toastmaster of the Year, as the Area Director of the Year 2020. And now, I am excited. We are all excited as she will serve the Division G, being our incoming Division G Director. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and friends, let's welcome our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Armel Gutierrez.
Thank you so much, President Sedi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and distinguished guests. Welcome to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Tonight's meeting is really intended to all of you. This is an exciting and fun learning tonight. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy our meeting. For the benefit of our guests, I would like to share to them what Toastmasters is all about. Toastmasters Club we are under the Toastmasters International. It is a nonprofit educational organization founded by Ralph C. Smedley on October 22, 1924. He named the group Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster was a popular term that referred to a person who gave toast at banquets and other occasions. The start of Toastmasters organization in the Philippines is under the leadership of the late attorney Teddy Calao. He founded the Toastmasters International here in the Philippines, the Tamarao Toastmasters Club. It is the prime mover of Toastmasters International here in the Philippines. The Tamarao Toastmasters Club is the first and oldest Toastmasters Club in Asia. And we are happy because one of the members of Tamarao Toastmasters Club is one of our evaluators tonight. For the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, our charter president is also an active member until this time of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. He is our beloved Toastmaster Dana Palinga. Together with his friend Mike Rodriguez, they formed the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Before, it was an organization of businessmen in Meycauayan. And you know what, fellow Toastmasters, friends and guests, we are turning 30 this coming August 30, and we are so blessed because Meycauayan will be turning 30 years old this coming August. In the Philippines, we are under District 75. To date, District 75 is composed of 13 divisions, 53 areas, and 195 clubs. Our theme for tonight is expectation versus reality. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. There are some memes regarding this expectation versus reality. Are you being robbed of your happiness because of expectation versus reality trap? How many times have we focused so much on something we wanted that we didn't truly enjoy what we had? And how often might our expectations for great things make us feel like we have isn't really that great when there are many people who have less? Tonight's theme is a good realization that we should enjoy what we have right now, right here at the moment. That whatever it is through our hard work and perseverance that those great things are given to us. Our program is divided into three parts. We have the table topics, prepared speech, and the evaluation. But before I call on our table topics master, let me call our president, Cedric Cortez, to introduce to us the word of the night.
Toastmaster Mark, would you share the program? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Our word for the night is pragmatic. It is an adjective meaning dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. Example, despite his young age, my son is already pragmatic in regards to organizing his priorities. So, fellow Toastmasters and friends, we encourage all of you to use our word of the night, pragmatic. And anyone who would like to volunteer to use the word of the night, pragmatic, in a sentence. Toastmaster Rose.
Good evening, President Sedi. Sometimes we need to think pragmatically rather than jumping into the monthly sales schemes of our online shopping platforms. Toastmaster Sedi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose. How about Toastmaster Mar?
Sir, you're on mute.
Yes. Uh, well, males are mostly known to be pragmatic because sometimes they are so straightforward and they do not deal with the small details. They deal with the big picture.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mark. Thank you, Toastmaster Mar and Toastmaster Rose, for using our word of the night, pragmatic, and I encourage everyone to use our word of the night. That concludes our word of the night, and I would like to return the control to our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Armen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sedi. Now we are on the first part of our program, the light moment. We will start with our table topics. Maybe you would ask Mark and Rochelle what table topics is all about. The purpose of table topics is to practice the skill of impromptu speaking or speaking off the cuff. We are often in the position where we are being asked to speak a little or no preparation at all, both in business and in social situations. And to be able to do this, we should always practice answering the impromptu question. It is, for example, answering the questions in the Miss Universe, right? And because of that, here in our meeting or in every Toastmasters club, table topics really are part of the program. And to tell us more what table topics is all about, I would like to give you our table topics master. Please let us all welcome Toastmaster Mar Libiran.
Thank you, Toastmaster Armel. Wow, we have an interesting topic today that is expectation versus reality. Wow, expectation. It conjures images of excitement, patiently awaiting the result of something, and then matching it with reality. Although reality can mean two things, either falling short of the expectations or meeting the expectation, or if one is lucky enough exceeding the expectation. So we can share a lot of thoughts about this. But first of all, let me add to this table topics what it's all about. Table topics is dubbed as the thinking on your feet because the questions that you are supposed to ask are is something like out of nowhere. If you are really pondering, well, the table topics is a test of our listening, organizational, and speaking skill. So one is to be honestos, to be able to capture his thoughts as well as how to say it. So we really need these table topics sort of spontaneous speaking. And of course, it's somehow fair because everybody is unprepared. So it is a lot of surprises and mostly pleasant surprises to be asked to answer a table topics question. Now, let me show you the screen on how these table topics can be answered. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, there are several ways of paragraph development, but mostly it has been observed that they are of this nature. This is the what we call SMG, story, message, and gain. And another possibility is uh, point, reason, example, and then you go back to what you have stated earlier as your point. And another variant of that is point, reason, example, and the summary of the points. And then another version is point, reason, example, and message. And still another one is what we call as the IDA. You try to arrest the attention, and then you try to mold it into an interest, desire, and then you will finally end up with a call to action. There are also ways to enhance this. One, as we all know, is the disadvantage, and then you cite the advantage and the disadvantage, and then you can also compare and contrast. If you are in a problem solving situation, you can say problem and then solution, and then the before and after, which is a very easy way of discussing on things. So these are the speech patterns that one can adhere to. More or less, this speech pattern is typical of a table topics speaker. So let me go to the table topics now, because we can start, and then be braced for your to be called. Okay, are you ready for the table topics? The table
Yes.
topics, of course, is being patterned after our theme, which is expectation versus reality. So I want a volunteer. There will be 5, and you may be in for a surprise. You may have certainly have expectation, and let's see how the outcome will turn out to be. May I ask for volunteer for table topic number 1? Okay, table topic number 1. Let me share. Okay, so I hope everybody will love discussing that. May I ask for volunteer? Otherwise, I am inclined to call somebody. Okay? Okay, so I will call. I guess this will be a good break, a day's pause for somebody who is so busy playing her position as the president of a company. So may I call on Toastmaster Juliet for the first one? Go ahead, Toastmaster Juliet. This is your quotation.
Evening, everyone. Thank you, Mar, for calling me for as first table topic speaker. Play now, pay later. Pay now, play later. This pertains, I think, to, yes, when you mentioned busyness, like procrastination. When you have things to be done, you have to do first things first. So do whatever is necessary, whatever is needed, whatever is urgent, so that if your boss requires them, you have a time frame, you have a timeline, you will be in compliance on time. So you don't have to be sorry for later on. I think that's what's meant. Just like, for example, our chairman was in the plant today. He was telling me a lot of things, instructing me a lot of things last week. So I had to prioritize them following that day. Tuesday, he was there. And then Wednesday, I started doing what he wants. And when he came visited today again, I had my accomplishment and I submitted it to him and he was happy. So I didn't have to be sorry. I didn't have to reason for so many things that I'm busy, I was busy, I have to do this, I wasn't able to do the task that he wanted me to do. But yes, I did do it. I was able to give him the things that he wanted and he was happy with it. That's it. Back to you, Toastmaster Mar. Good evening.
Evening. Thank you, Toastmaster Juliet. Now, go to the second one. And anybody would like to volunteer for the second one? May I ask from one of our male Toastmaster, Ryan. This is the second one. Okay, Ryan. Yeah, that's the second one.
Sorry.
So,
Okay. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. We all strive for excellence. But being a champion is not a one-time deal. Being a champion is should be practiced on a daily basis. Every time that we win, it is an inch closer to our goal. I am involved in sales and marketing. I always teach my distributors, my members, that each activity is a step closer to their goal, to our goal. Whenever you prospect, that's an inch. Whenever you close a sale, whether it's a big sale or a tiny or a small sale, that's another inch closer to your goal. Whenever you conduct a meeting, you are always an inch closer. That's another inch. So winning or excellence is a day-to-day habit. Whenever I attend a Toastmasters meeting, I always believe that this act, attending our Toastmasters meeting, it will bring me an inch closer to my goal, to the success that I set to myself. So I encourage each and every one of you who are listening right now to practice excellence on a day-to-day basis. Join me on the journey to excellence, join me to attend the Toastmasters meeting. I now return the control to our Toastmaster of the evening. I'm sorry, to the Table Topics Master.
Okay, thank you very much, Rai. Now, for the third, I guess the one who will be best for this is somebody who has a good voice. Maybe a lady and somebody who has been, who is good, really good, not only in singing, but also in explaining. So, in as much as there are several here, may I choose from among the ladies? How about one of our guests or Mercy Mecos? Can you, actually you are not actually singing, but it is best to hum this because you can digest it better. So may I
Okay.
call on Miss Mercy Marcos for
Oh,
our for the next patient, okay? Wait. So this is your quotation. Wait, uh, sorry for the delay.
Mercy is muted, I think.
no, I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
just
Yeah.
waiting. Just waiting.
The lyrics of both sides now, Mercy.
Can you?
Yes, yes,
I can't.
I can. Wait, wait.
I don't know the song.
Excuse me for a while.
Yung song ni Joni Mitchell, I've both sides now.
Sides. I haven't heard that song. I'm so, I don't know, out of tune, out of, yeah, both sides. Wait. So may I ask what the question is? I can see the shared screen if ever.
Okay, sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay, and I would like to apologize for the delay. Yes, Miss Mecos, PM Mecos.
Okay, so I've looked at love from both sides now, and I haven't known how the song is. But if we would look at love, there are two sides of the coin. One is love that is keeping you, or love that can be given away. What are these both sides of love? In any way, this kind of love is healthy for both of us, for anyone who's listening, as long as you know what love is. Because sometimes love can be selfish, and you keep that person within you and hold him by the neck, and you don't want to let go because you're so selfish that you wanted that person. On the other hand, what if you let go of that person like a bird and let him be free? As they said, sometimes when you let go of love, it comes back to you. Like it's an illusion. It could be, but it can also be pragmatic, because when you understand what love is looking you know at yourself in the heart and giving it back so that others can grow from the love that you have offered them. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mercy. Now, if that one is an expectation that fell short of, it's a reality that fell short of expectation, the next one is the opposite because the next one exceeded the expectation. I would like to call for the next one. It fits him, Toastmaster Jeff Robles.
Hello.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, Sir Mar.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff. This one is for you.
Okay.
Yes.
1 plus 1 equals 3.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Um, they always have you ever seen the equation of 1 plus 1 equals 3? For us mathematicians or who loves math and science, 1 plus 1 equals 3 is cannot be or cannot be mathematically proven because 1 plus 1 should be equal to 2, right? But when we talk about philosophy and when we see it on other perspective, I always say that 1 is you and 1 is your loved one. So who is the other one that needs to complete the equation to equal to 3? And I always think of God. So God is the invisible, the one who is always with us. He's someone who is always guiding us together with our loved ones in uh, pushing through and surviving the every storm that the life has given us. So whenever you will see the equation 1 plus 1 equals 3, always remember the invisible and mysterious one, and that is our God. Thank you, my fellow
Okay.
Toastmasters.
Thank you, Jeff. The next one, I will give it to Miss Beng Garcia.
Sir, I think GB volunteered to be the
Ah,
next one.
GP volunteered. Okay.
Yeah. Next time po. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is for GB. I guess he's very much enthusiastic, as always. So let me share the next one. Yes, that's for PM GB. Take it away. Okay.
What you see depends mainly on what you look for. Come to think of it, every one of us has a unique perspective in life, whether we dream higher or we dream just a normal a bit. So therefore, whenever you saw a problem, you do you see it as a unresolvable one or unsolvable one? There's a saying that your attitude depends on your attitude in life. Therefore, each one of us should and continuously improve itself so that never ever remain in the status quo in life. Life is changing, problems become bigger, and the constant thing in the world is change. Therefore, if you will not change yourself, you will not able to adapt what's coming next. Like what happened in our society, in our world right now. Pandemic is unexpected. So if you will not forward, look forward 10 years, 10, 40 years from now, and another pandemic will come. So what will happen? Fellow Toastmasters, I would like to encourage everyone that be prepared at all times. And always remember, no excuses, only challenges. Good evening.
Thank you very much, GV. And those were the 5 people who eagerly shared their thoughts. Thank you very much. I now return the control to the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Armel.
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master Mar Lidiran, and to our 5 courageous table topic speakers. Serving as your table topic with Toastmaster Mar is connected with his project in Motivational Strategies Level 2.2, Active Listening. It is part of his project, Becoming a Table Topics Master. Now we will be having our outright evaluation. He is the Vice President of Education for Makati Toastmasters Club and Impact Toastmasters Club. 2019 to 2020 District Champion for Evaluation. 2020 to 2021 District Second Runner-Up for Table Topics. Everyone, let's give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Craig Manabal.
Good evening, everyone. I am here today to give some value for the table topic session that we had tonight. And wasn't it a wonderful table topic session? I won't wait for your answer. The answer is yes, it was a wonderful table topic session. And that's thanks to you, Toastmaster Mar. Now, Toastmaster Mar, I love the wonderful quotes. I actually wrote some of them down for practice for our next table topics contestant in one of my clubs. And that just shows how much of a wonderful table topics master you are, being able to select quotes or prompts that might have people wondering, how do I answer this? And it was a wonderful mix of quotes that were easier to answer and those that were a little bit more mind racking. So that is, I think, your greatest strength, Toastmaster Mar. Now, I do have 2 suggestions for you. The first suggestion, Toastmaster Mar, as part of a table topics master's duty, is to read out the topic. So that would be my suggestion, because some of the speakers, as noted a while ago, some of them weren't able to read as easily the quotes or the topics that you were giving. So if you were to read out the topic twice, then they would be able to at least hear it if they're not able to read it themselves. The second recommendation, Toastmaster More, has to do with your active listening project. Now, the active listening project requires for the table topics master to give a little bit of feedback on or comment on the speaker. And that would be something as simple as, thank you for sharing that wonderful story about your boss. A one liner that would entail reminding us of what the speaker has said and also sharing with us that you are actually actively listening to the speaker. Overall, Toastmaster, I love this wonderful table topics portion, and I hope that the next time that you are the table topics master, I am not a table topics evaluator, because I would want to volunteer, and if only I could, I would have earlier on. Let's give Toastmaster Mar a virtual round of applause. I will now move on to our table topics speakers. Our first table topic speaker is Toastmaster Juliet. Miss First Things First. Now, Toastmaster Juliet, first things first. I loved how you were able to connect the topic to a very personal story, which is having a demanding, I'll call it boss, your chairman. And that just shows how you are able to use the synapses in your brain and have those neurons connect that quote into something that is very personal. And if there is one thing that I could recommend for you, Toastmaster Juliet, is maybe you might want to not repeat the topic. Why? Because especially if you're going to be a contestant, your timer starts the moment you start speaking. So even if your first words is just reading out the topic aloud, if your timer were a little bit more strict, you might have gone over time because they would have started the moment you started speaking. Overall, Toastmaster Juliet is a wonderful performance and a wonderful table topics speech. I hope that you continue speaking. Next, we have Toastmaster Ryan. Toastmaster Ryan, Mr. Inching towards the goal. Now, I loved how you used the power of three. When you shared with us the 3 inches towards the goal, you gave us 3 examples of how you would inch towards the goal. And that's a wonderful way to keep the message in our brain. So the moment that you started saying, that's 1 more inch towards the goal, that's another inch towards the goal. And I was thinking, I want to get to that goal. So thank you for sharing that with us, Toastmaster Ryan. Now, if there is one thing that I would recommend for you, it would be to pause before you start speaking. I noticed a while ago that you read out the topic aloud and then you probably were thinking of things to say, so you read it out loud again. I would recommend, similar to Toastmaster Julia, to not have to read the prompt, but at the same time, to also compose your story or your message or your game before you start speaking so that you would not have such trouble connecting the dots towards the end of your speech. Overall, it was a wonderful speech. I am glad that I heard this wonderful message. Next, we have Toastmaster Mercy. Toastmaster Mercy, our Miss Love expert. Now, I love that you were able to maneuver an unfamiliar topic. The topic was quite challenging. It was a long, let's say, quote or an excerpt from the song lyrics of a song that I am so sorry I also do not know. And I love that you were able to maneuver it into a topic that you are familiar with, which is love and everyone can relate to. Now, as a challenge for you, Toastmaster Mercy, I would like to recommend that you connect to the quote a little bit more. I noticed in your speech, the connection to the quote was more on towards the title of the song. And the prompt was actually the lyrics of the song, albeit including the title in itself. In the future, if you were to grasp at a few more stanzas of that song, you might be able to craft it into your speech as well. Overall, it was lovely hearing about the decisions of how to love. Thank you, Toastmaster Mercy, for that wonderful speech. Next, we have Toastmaster Jeff, Mr. The One, the mysterious, the silent, the invisible, the One. Now, Toastmaster Jeff, I love how you were able to spin a falseness into truth. I myself am a statistics major, and when I saw that prompt 1 plus 1 equals 3, I wanted to throw my laptop towards the wall. You, on the other hand, were able to find a way to make 1 plus 1 equal to 3. And I think that is something that just shows us how analytical your mind is, whilst also being spiritual. It's kind of like bringing your mind and your soul together and showing us that through your heart. So it's a wonderful triad, if you will. 1 + 1 = 3. Now, Toastmaster Jeff, there's only one small recommendation that I have for you. You ended your speech with the words, thank you. Now, it's not so much wrong, though I would like to recommend that you maybe end with the sentence prior to that. Because now, the lasting impression of me, of Jeff, Toastmaster Jeff, other than being the one, is that you ended your speech with a thank you. And here in Toastmasters, we always believe that when you share your story, when you share your life, when you share your thoughts, we should thank you. Overall, Toastmaster Jeff, it was a wonderful speech, and I'm glad that I was here to see it. Lastly, we have Toastmaster GV, our Mr. Dreamer. Now, Toastmaster GV, I love that there was this call to action, which is to be prepared at all times and always, always fight for your dream. Now, I do have just one very small technical recommendation. If you noticed, when I turned on my video, I pushed my laptop a little bit back, and there is a reason for that. And that is my recommendation for you to also push back your device a little bit, up to the extent that your audio device will allow you at least. Why? Because that will let you show now a little bit more than your wonderful face. You will also be able to share with us your wonderful hand gestures. Overall, Toastmaster GB, I am glad that I am prepared at all times. And hopefully in the future, you can prepare yourself a little bit more too by just pushing your device a little bit back. It was such a wonderful speech. And with that, I would like to give everyone a virtual round of applause. Now, before I return the control of the proceedings to the Toastmaster of the evening, I would like to leave everyone with this tip. When all else fails in table topics, say whatever your mind tells you to say. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Craig. It is really a pleasure to have you here at our club, and thank you so much for really accepting my invitation to you. Let us give another round of applause to our table topics champion for this year. For us, he's the champion. Thank you so much, Craig. Moving forward to the second part of our program is the prepared speech. Our speaker number one, it is under his Pathways Presentation Mastery Level 1. The objective of this project is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech on any topic. The time is from 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Coping with Stress. Her evaluator is our past International Director, Christine Temblique. Let us give a warm welcome to our speaker, Remy Banzuelo.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a pleasant good evening to all of you. What stresses you most in this pandemic crisis? And how are you coping so far? COVID-19 brought many unpleasant emotions to us as we experience an unexpected scenario that it carries through the process. I aim to speak about mental health, and specifically, I will be focusing on stress and coping. According to Richard Lazarus, a well-known researcher on the topic of stress, stress happens when a person perceives that the demands of the environment is beyond what a person can manage. What happens to us and how we cope with the stresses of life is what I am planning to share with you tonight. So, the effects of stress. Stress can either give us positive or negative impact. According to Hans Selye, one of the pioneers of stress research, stress is called eustress when it is seen as giving a pleasant or positive stressors. For example, you're preparing for your wedding, you're giving a birth, or you are being promoted to a long-waited job position. When I was promoted as the counselor of our college, I was really happy because I decided for that position and prayed for it. However, with the position are the pressure to pass the licensure exam, which happened to be given or which happened to release during the time that I got the position, and also the different demands that simultaneously appearing before my face. Though I really like the position, yet I cannot do away with the stress. And this is an example of eustress. A negative stress, on the other hand, is called distress. When an event results to a full-blown negative result of the stress. So Lazarus stated that when we assess that a stressful situation is beyond our control and we have limited resources to cope, then we are experiencing distress. For example, 2 or more of your family members were infected by COVID-19 virus. For sure, you will experience distress. Medical practitioners have enumerated some of the negative effects of prolonged distress. They are physical complaints like nausea, diarrhea, migraine, hyperacidity, ulcer, and compromised immune system. We also observe changes in sleeping and eating habits when people are under stress. Stressed people are more impatient, anxious, irritable, and unhappy during the onset of stressful situation. So let's talk about coping. If a person could not cope properly, severe and prolonged experience of distress may end up to a more serious psychological problem, such as anxiety disorder and depression. How do we usually cope with a stressful situation? There are 2 major stress coping mechanisms according to Lazarus. The first one is emotion-focused coping, and the second one is problem-focused coping. When a person tries to manage stress by reducing or alleviating the unpleasant emotion along with the event of the stressful situation, we refer this as emotion-focused coping. For example, when you have a lot of things to do and decision to make in the office, instead of focusing on how to resolve the problem, you decided to go to spa and have a relaxing massage coupled with soothing music. As you see, problems will not go away. However, the pressure is being released by physical relief and emotional, what we call emotional relief. So, even though we all know that problems will not go away even with several visits with spa. That's why we have the second second coping mechanism, which is problem-focused coping. So problem-focused coping is directing on the problem itself. You define the problem, brainstorm with the probable effects and the possible solution to make. For the example that we used a while ago, in this scenario, we can use stress management or time management strategies to relieve the stress that we are experiencing. We can use prioritizing, delegating, planning, scheduling, saying no to extra or lesser prioritized activities, and so forth. These are example strategies of problem-focused coping. COVID brought stresses in our work, education, and relationship. There are new cultural changes that pose challenging stress to us. Some issues can be set aside. Other concerns, however, demand immediate actions to avoid further complications. And there are problems that are beyond our control. For the stress that overwhelm us, we can use for a while emotion-focused coping. While for the problems that are important and urgent, we can sit down and brainstorm to use problem-focused coping. As I close, let us also remind ourselves that there are things that are beyond our control. If this happened, let go and let God. As the Bible says in Isaiah 46 verse 10, be still and know that I am God. Remember, when you are pushed against the wall and things are unbearable, trusting God is a very important option that can make a big difference in us. Remember, our emotion may not always be right, and our mind is but just limited. But trusting God's plan and design give us a kind of hope that will make a big difference in facing life stress. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you so much to our first speaker, Remy. Your speech was so timely. Your evaluator will give you some suggestions and recommendations later. Words to ponder tonight from your speech are stress and distress. Moving forward to our second speaker. This is under his Pathways on Presentation Mastery Level 5.2. Objective is to apply your leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement your plan with the help of a team. Time is from 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Project Pearl. He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Mercy Mecos. Let us give a warm of applause to Toastmaster Mark Edrada.
Have you ever had a project that went as expected? Fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you the first part of my high performance leadership series here in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. This is Project Pearl. This project is expected to be realized in 8 weeks. So what is Project Pearl? Project Pearl has its objective, and its objective is to upskill our fellow Toastmasters into writing their own reverse poems for the commemoration of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club's Pearl anniversary. If you remember last meeting, I have discussed how to write a reverse poetry, and this is the next step, part of our high performance leadership. So why Pearl? Aside from being 30th anniversary, why did they choose Pearl? What is the symbolism for Pearl? In Matthew 13:46, it says that when a person finds a pearl of great value, he will sell everything he has just to buy that pearl of great value. And imagine yourself creating your reverse poetry, the very first reverse poetry and being collated into an ebook, that could be your pearl of great value. You never need to buy it. You never need to sell everything you own just to have this. I am giving it to you for free. So now, Project Pearl, what is it for us? What is it for Toastmasters as individuals? What is it for Meycauayan Toastmasters Club? And what is it for yours truly? For Toastmasters, it doesn't mean Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. We can have other Toastmasters outside our club. In having this, you can create your own masterpiece, your novel masterpiece, the new masterpiece that you can call your own, because this is probably new to you, and I would like to share with you how to write a reverse poetry, and you will write your own reverse poetry. For Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, this is a legacy for our future generation of Toastmasters. This is Project Pearl. As we commemorate the Pearl anniversary, what if this will be reminisced in our golden anniversary, in our diamond anniversary, in our centennial anniversary? That could be your history. You will be part of a history to be unfolded. And what is it for me? Then I can produce my own ebook. My third book, I had two books for now. So I had the ebook and paperback, How to Be a World-Class Millennial Professional. And I have my second ebook, Dapat May Pera, Financial Lessons from Iso and Jacob. Now, we are going to materialize it. We're expecting to make it a reality. How does it benefit our fellow Toastmasters? Of course, because I will be producing an ebook, then additional earning for all the contributors. If you will be the modern day poets to be in which your masterpiece will be collated in this ebook, then you can be a contributor. And I am giving percentage of the earning as contributor regardless of the number of book sales that we will be having. And because we'll be producing this ebook for sale, then I pledge to that 10% of the book sale will be donated to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club as additional club fund for all of us. And of course, for me, this will be my merit for HPL or High Performance Leadership as part of my Distinguished Toastmaster Award, hopefully in the near future. Distinguished Toastmaster is the highest award a Toastmaster can get here in our organization. Now, who are the who are included in my guidance committee? These are my guidance committee. Distinguished Toastmaster Christine Temblique from Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, Distinguished Toastmaster Malu Cruz from NPC Toastmasters Club, Distinguished Toastmaster Donnie Oliveros from Pinoy Readers Toastmasters Club, soon to be Distinguished Toastmaster Armel Gutierrez from Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, and soon to be Distinguished Toastmaster Rose Pagia from Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Common denominator. First, Distinguished Toastmasters, especially the three on the first row, the three Toastmasters on the first row, and they are part of Meycauayan Toastmasters because Meycauayan Toastmasters Club is the sponsoring club of NPC Toastmasters Club and Pinoy Readers Toastmasters Club. So they are our guidance committee. Now, Rose Pagia is saying hashtag pressure. No, it's not a pressure. Because the same pressure that burst a balloon hardens a diamond. So we will all be, yes, pearl, then gold, and then diamond. So this is our timeline. Lecture to lunch. I'm calling it lecture to lunch because I'm eyeing June 12 as our kickoff meeting. The expected output for that kickoff meeting is to have a clarity of purpose and vision because I am envisioning this as success, not only for me, not only for our Toastmasters Club, but also to the Toastmasters, the individual Toastmasters that we will be taking part in this kind of project. And in the kickoff meeting, we will be having a re-lecture on how to write a reverse poetry. So we will be having a first draft of contributors' poems. And after that June 12th kickoff meeting, we will be having consultation and checkpoint meetings for the progress of every one of us who will be contributing on the reverse poetry for this initiative. And on July 12th, we will be having a recital of your own poems so that every one of us can have this feeling of ownership on your own reverse poetry, because that's important, your ownership. You must own your masterpiece, your obra maestra. And then after 8 weeks, we will be having a book launch. Hopefully, this will be in time for the 30th anniversary celebration of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. So what is our expected output? We will be having an online book launch of how to write a reverse poetry. So the content of that, of course, is how to write a reverse poetry and your own poetry, reverse poems. So this will be our expected output. So that what time is our kickoff meeting? It will be in the evening, probably 7 o'clock. So distinguished Toastmaster Christine is asking what time is our kickoff meeting. That will be 7 o'clock. And recalling the benefits, these are the benefits. So what is it for us? For individual Toastmasters to create a novel masterpiece and have an additional earning for all the contributions and contributors. For Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, it will post as legacy for our club for the next generations, and additional club fund because I am pledging to donate 10% of the sales to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. And for me, producing an ebook and HPL merit, or high performance leadership merit. So what are you waiting for? If you want to participate in this online meeting, be part of this Project Pearl by scanning this QR code. So get your phone and scan this QR code and register for our Project Pearl. And I hope that every one of you will be contributors for your own obra maestra. Back to you, Toastmaster Armel.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mark. It is my pleasure to be part of your committee and a pleasure also to have that reverse poetry. Thank you for reminding me to have my own. Actually, I've got some sample poetry poem that I've created, but I cannot reverse it. I need your help.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mark. So how are you, our fellow Toastmasters and friends? You can stretch while you are sitting on your own place. Now, moving on with our third speaker, our last but not the least speaker. This is under his project, under his Pathways Presentation Mastery, Level 2. The objective is to learn about different communication style and identify your primary style. Time allotted is from 5 to 7 minutes. The title is Inform and Persuade. He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Bea Paula Cruz. Let us give a warm welcome to our speaker, Jeff Robles.
I hope everybody's having a fantastic week so far. It's been a great day. I have just finished my self-evaluation, which was understanding my communication style. Upon my self-reflection, I might say that I was someone who is an initiator. I'm someone who values interacting with others and sharing stories with enthusiasm about the newest trend in the Internet of Things. Just imagine someone who loves to chit chat in the front of a small grocery store alongside your street. Yep, that's me. I like explaining and teaching others on something I love and interested in. Why is it important to know your communication style? Whether you're pitching to a client, investors, or presenting at a company or board meeting, you have to engage your audience, or else you risk a costly failure to communicate or explain your side. Your intention on these meetings is to share your experience with someone else in hope that it will move them to action. In anticipation that they will remember what you said or purchase your product you want to sell with them. Having at least a basic understanding of your own style is very important to building better relationships in your personal and professional life. You may find yourself in situations where someone's communication style clashes with your own, leading to conflict in the workplace. Alternatively, you may have a communication style that other people find difficult to understand, which means that you could struggle to get your message across. You know, my fellow Toastmasters, I've been there where I was turned down on a job interview just because I can't explain what I want to say to them. Now I will give you a glimpse of my first job interview. The manager asked me, "Mr. Robles, if you would be given a chance, what would you choose? A field or construction job or an office or desktop job? What would you choose?" Then I said, no, you know, Mr. Manager, uh, uh, I was I was bluffing. I I want to I can't say my words during that time. Then something just passed onto my mind and I just said directly to the manager, I said, I just want I don't want construction job because it's dirty. And I just want to do office job because it's the thing I want to do. You know, that's the that's the most embarrassing interview question I have interview answer that I have said. If you're in the shoes of the manager, that's an automatic rejection, right? You know, uh I knew after saying those statements that I need to pass my resume to the other company beside the company I was interviewing then. Good communication opens doors and poor communication closes them. Communication is the single most important key to success in the workplace. If you can communicate with confidence and credibility, you may get passed over for promotions, have a difficult time relating to coworkers and colleagues, and bear the brunt of misunderstandings and mistakes. My friends, how did you discover or become interested at public speaking? I want to share my own story and become how did I come to the world of public speaking. It was 10 years ago when my grade 4 teacher asked me to join a phone presentation contest. This was the period where I've learned how to speak on a wide audience. I've always thought why my teacher chose me to represent our class. Because she saw me as an energetic kid back then, and I was the talkative type of kid with his classmates. Maybe because she thinks that I'm a cute kid. I don't know. But, you know, I'm the very shy student when in front of the stage. I'm so grateful that my grade 4 teacher taught me ways and opened up the path of me for public speaking and having confidence on stage. Without her, I might be the person or communicator you can see right now. I become a poem presenter since grade 4 until high school. This skill really helps me to speak in front of so many, and I was blessed to run for student council. Although I didn't win, I'm still thankful for the experience because it still molds me to become a good leader and a better communicator who always listen to the issues of my friends and classmates. My fellow Toastmasters, I hope that as a member of Toastmasters, you will use your skills to influence and motivate others to live their life to the fullest and have a positive impact to loved ones, friends, community, and your environment. I always believe that when you give, you will feel fulfillment. And that's what I always thought that that is my purpose of joining Toastmasters. That is to inform and persuade and give positive impact to others. Back to you, Ma'am Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jeff. Your speech was applaudable. You will be evaluated later by your evaluator. Now, at this point, let us have a 5-minute bio break and be back after it. Timer, President Sedi, please let me know if 5 minutes is over. Stretch muna tayo and bio break. See you later. Or back, I will give the control to our breaky master, Mark Edrada.
Hello once again, everyone. I am your break master slash Zoom master slash Toastmaster, Mark Wilson Edrada. How's everyone? Kumusta ang lahat? So we are free to speak either in Filipino or in English because it's break. So, break it down, Mark. Sabi ni Rose.
Mark, pwede ba natin batiin si Tito Dan? Nandiyan, no?
Of course, Tito Dan, welcome once again to Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. We missed you. Tito Dan, can we see your video, please?
Nasaan si Tito Dan? No?
Kasi
Ayun.
na-miss
Tito Dan!
natin si Tito Dan.
Oo, na-miss ka namin, Tito Dan. Nawala yung video ni Tito Dan, tsaka naka-off yung mic.
And then, Tita Lit is here as well. Hi, Tita Lit. Wow, you're on outer space.
Yeah, I'm expecting to be there someday.
Hello,
That's
Tita
our
Lit.
invitation.
Kamusta
Hello,
dyan?
everyone.
Kamusta po
Good
dyan
to
sa
see you.
space?
Oh my, I'm actually floating right now. I miss you here, but I'm glad we could see each other through the internet. But I'm actually here right now, believe you me.
And before anything else, batiin mo natin yung mga guests natin. Mga guests natin dito, we have Darla, Rochelle. Darla and Rochelle nga lang ba? And Mark. Yes. So, kumusta kayong tatlo dyan sa inyong mga bahay-bahay? Rochelle?
Malamig ba dyan?
Good evening, sir. It's alright.
Patambay naman.
The topic is very powerful.
Okay. Ano yung expectation mo dito sa Toastmasters meeting bilang ikaw ay sa mga guest namin?
Anyway, sir, I just want to thank first my college professor, which is Sir Libiran. He was my economic professor way back on my tertiary year. My expectation for this is everyone of us have a voice. We have the power to have an impact to the people around us, and do not belittle your capacity to speak out. No, everyone of us have the voice, and we have the chance to be heard. Lagi po natin yung tatandaan. Even though the topic is pragmatic, the lesson is, yun nga po kanina sabi ko, is very powerful. I do learn that I do learn that everyone of us have the voice to speak and to be heard. Do not let anyone cut you out and belittle you for not explaining yourself or explaining your side. We are no longer looking at a different perspective of life as a Filipino citizen here in the Philippines, no? Hindi lang po tayo keyboard warrior. We have a much better way to explain our opinions, or even our belief. And I am thankful for Sir Liviran for inviting us here. Yun lang po.
You're
God bless po.
you're absolutely right. I agree with what you have said. Thank you, Rochelle,
Thank
sa
you po.
pag-share nitong wonderful words of wisdom. Ang galing. So kahanga-hanga. And then for Darla, this is your second time, right? So what do you expect from this meeting?
Hi. Actually, natuwa ako dun sa topic kanina. I think it was really creative. Tsaka yung, to be honest, I've been living in Meycauayan since 2004. And kung hindi pa dahil dun sa classmate ko nung college, si Ayin Bernos, hindi ko pa malalaman yung Toastmasters. And truthfully, whenever I would go for long drives, or kaya magdadrive lang ako sa city, ginagawa ko rin yung mga simple table topics. Like, I would think of a random topic and then do an impromptu speech out of it. So I think good platform din siya for me to express myself more. Kasi more on communication din talaga yung route ng career ko. So,
Totoo yan. Kasi safe place ang Toastmasters. You are free to fail in Toastmasters. Walang manghusga sa'yo, no judgmentalism. You are free to do whatever you want, whatever you want to speak about in Toastmasters. Whether sa table topics yan, sa prepared speech and sa evaluation, anything, you're free to say. And you will learn how to say it properly. So, thank you, Darla, for sharing. Now, si Mark. Ano expectation mo, Mark, sa ating Toastmasters meeting?
Ay, hello po. Good evening po sa
Good
lahat.
evening.
Bali, na-invite lang po kasi ako ni Miss Rochelle po.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yung expectation ko po sa more on maging fluent po sa sa public speaking, saka matuto ko about sa more on sa leadership. Yan po.
Ayan. So this the right platform for every one of you to learn more about communication, public speaking, leadership, interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, everything, personality development. Yan ang inuhon ng Toastmasters because Toastmasters has a mission, and that is to enable everyone, every member to be a world-class or to be a competent communicators and leaders. Now, I think 5 minutes is up. So thank you once again. Now I turn the control back to our Toastmaster of the evening, Armel.
Thank you, Mark. Standing at the comfort of your Zoom is your table topics of the evening tonight. I'm standing actually now, practicing what I have learned in our face-to-face meeting. This is the last part of our program, the general evaluation. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you want to strengthen your speaking, listening, evaluation, and leadership skills, and help members in your club all at the same time, look no further than the general evaluator position. And tonight, I am privileged to introduce to you our general evaluator. He has been a Toastmaster for over 20 years old now. He is currently a member of 2 clubs, Imus Wagayway Toastmasters Club in Division K, which serves Batangas, Cavite, and Laguna, and Y-Access Toastmasters Club in District 20. He completed his first Distinguished Toastmaster in 2001 and is the first Toastmaster to complete a Pathways Distinguished Toastmaster in the Philippines. He has served as district officer in 3 districts and has achieved President's Distinguished Club for all 4 Toastmasters Club he led as club president. He's also a proud recipient of the Top 10 Newsletter Award of Toastmasters International for 2 consecutive years. Now, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, let us all welcome for tonight as our general evaluator, Toastmaster Nomel Hilongos.
Lengthy evaluation. Now I am distressed because I have to meet expectations. Am I the usual question? Now I think I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Armel, for that lengthy introduction. I am really distressed because now I have to meet expectations. And since our theme for tonight is about expectations versus reality, I hope your introduction will be brought to fore as a reality. Fellow Toastmasters, especially the guests in our audience, it has been mentioned several times tonight, but welcome to Toastmasters. This is the safest place where you can learn and unlearn so that you can become a better communicator, a better leader, or just be a better human being. And the beauty about Toastmasters is that it offers a pragmatic approach to learning. There is no pass or fail program in Toastmasters. You learn at your own pace. And this is the reason why after almost a century, Toastmasters is still at it, and the membership of Toastmasters has grown tremendously. If you look at the room right now, you can see a great mix of individuals, young, not very old, not very young. I would
Very
not
old.
I would not dare mention where I belong, but this is actually the beauty of Toastmasters. It's a diverse organization where you can freely commit mistakes, fail in your attempts, and then bounce back the next time and become a better speaker, communicator, leader, and person. The evaluation portion of the Toastmasters program is what makes us different from many other personality development program, because this is the only program where you are actually given feedback, not with intention of discouraging you, or not with the intention of destroying your confidence, but building up your confidence. So in our evaluation program, while we try to highlight the opportunities for a member's growth, we also celebrate our victories, whether they're small, whether they're big victories. So let's start our evaluation segment tonight. I'll start with the evaluation, a quick evaluation of our table topics. Since our table topics evaluator has left us, Toastmaster Craig, I'll just probably mention a few additional feedback for Toastmaster Mar and our table topic speaker. Your table topics is also called the lights moment. Lights moment? Yep. Light moment. Lights plural, di ba? Kasi 5 speakers. And I really love it. I also enjoyed Toastmaster Mar. Yes, there were some challenges as far as the tech aspect is concerned, but I love the diversity of topics that Toastmaster Mar brought before us, allowing a diverse speakers also to share their insights. What I love about our 5 speakers is that they were very honest and they were very sincere. We got to know them better because they've spoken straight from their hearts, and that's what I really love about table topics. I definitely agree with Toastmaster Craig, Toastmaster Mar, regarding the 2 points that he has mentioned. My only challenge perhaps to future table topics master, and perhaps to Meycauayan Toastmasters as well, is the name itself, Light Moment. I personally believe that table topics is not a light moment. It can never be light. It's always tough. But I love how you renamed it to encourage members and guests from participating. So that's really very good of you. My only challenge perhaps to future Toastmasters is consider inviting guests to participate in the table topics so that they will get a good feel of what we do in Toastmasters. That's one point. Another point, perhaps Toastmaster Mar and fellow Toastmasters that you can consider, you may want to go through the list of our attendees so that members who are already performing a specific role will be given a pass during table topics, and members who are not assigned to any roles will be given the chance to speak in table topics. Because after all, let us remember, table topics is a unique tradition of Toastmasters where we allow everybody present to be given the chance to speak. So it would have been great also, since Toastmaster Armel mentioned in her introduction about the founders of Meycauayan, and one of your founders, Distinguished Toastmaster Dan, is actually present tonight. It would have been inspiring to have heard from him.
words of wisdom from our members of longstanding would always inspire our members and will also motivate the guests to consider joining the club. Other than that, congratulations, Toastmaster Mar, and to all 5 speakers, well done. My only challenge for you is always remember the opportunity in table topics must be maximized, and try to always end your statements with a call to action or a takeaway, so that what you have shared with us can be part of the takeaways of our audience as well. An audience will not take anything away from our speeches if there is no clear message that it is meant for them. Other than that, it was a great table topics. Let's give Toastmaster Mar and our 5 speakers and Toastmaster Craig a big round of virtual applause. Thank you very much and congratulations. Now, time check, it's almost 8:30. Let's listen to the evaluations of our prepared speakers. The prepared speech program of Toastmasters is what I really love about Toastmasters. Here, this is where we actually pace ourselves. Not even our club officers can tell us when we will deliver our speeches. We pace ourselves, we determine how fast we will complete a learning path or how much we would be enjoying the growth opportunities. Tonight, we are blessed with 3 wonderful speakers with 3 different subjects to boot. Where else can you find a meeting in the world where you attend one meeting and you bring home with you? Well, we're already home. Where our takeaways is as varied as the stars in the sky. So 3 amazing speakers tonight. Our first speaker, Toastmaster. Right, let me just scroll this. Toastmaster Remelinda talked about coping with stress, and I am so jealous because Toastmaster Remelinda will be evaluated by no less than a past international director. When would I be given the opportunity to be evaluated by such a great leader? So even before your evaluation, Toastmaster Remelinda, congratulations. This is a great opportunity. Let's welcome our evaluator, past international director, distinguished Toastmaster Christine Temblique.
Thank you, Nomel, and it's a pleasure to me to find you here as our general evaluator. And just ask, anytime I can always evaluate a great speaker like you. So let's proceed to our evaluation of Remy. Remy is undertaking the path presentation mastery, and the objective of this speech is to have a research speech and present it in a well-organized way. And I definitely believe that Toastmaster Remy excelled tonight in delivering a well-organized speech, because the opening, the body, and conclusion are very much well-defined. She opened with a quote and question, if you have noticed that. And that is a way of engaging the audience. And then she proceeded to defining the major components of her speech, which is stress and coping. She gave examples of what stresses are and also the coping, especially the methods of coping mechanisms. So we were able to have a clear understanding of the 2 elements, stress and coping mechanism. And then she proceeded to give us an advice on how to use the coping mechanism, the two circumstances in which we can use what she has given us earlier, the emotional coping mechanism and the problematic approach mechanism. She ended with a quote from the Bible, which is also her message. For those that we cannot control, then we can rely on this Bible message, Bible quotation. Okay. Now, I think these are the main points, strong points of Toastmaster Remy. What I would like her to work at is the vocal variety. Toastmaster Remy, I think it will be more emphatic for your speech, especially when you are talking about stress, when you are talking about coping mechanism, to delineate the 2. So it is important that you emphasize with some vocal variation, some emphasis on what stress is, what it does to our person, what it does to a human being when encountering stress. And then go to your coping mechanism and make this like a remedy on how to address your stresses. Okay? And another thing that can strengthen your speech is to provide actual examples of stress. I think during this pandemic, there are a lot of stories which can denote stressful situations. And you will be able to concretize what you're trying to say, and as well as in the coping mechanism. Short stories, but very emphatic stories to show the difference between stress and the coping. Okay? And now I would like to challenge you to keep delivering your speeches, but make sure you apply all the suggestions given to you to make your speeches more effective and more emphatic. So good evening, Remy, and congratulations. Back to you, General Evaluator, Nomel.
Right. Thank you very much, past International Director, DTM Christine, for that comprehensive, helpful, and positive evaluation. I'm glad that you actually publicly announced it, the DTM Christine. Sadly, our club meets on a Sunday, so I'm not really sure if I can invite you to our club. But
sure, no problem, as long as you tell me ahead of time.
Thank you very much, Ned. Oops, that's plugging. Sorry, I'm GE. I will be able to do that. So, Remy, congratulations and thank you for that speech. I will reserve my additional feedback to all our speakers and evaluators after we have listened to all of the speech evaluations for purposes of saving time. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Mark Edrada. He delivered his first speech for an HPL project. Now, before I introduce our evaluator, let me just say that from the presentation of Toastmaster Mark, I understood that this is an elective project, not the level 5 required project, because Mark is working on presentation mastery. So for that alone, Toastmaster Mark, I am so impressed. Why? Because HPL is a difficult project. And to do that as an elective in level 5, that speaks highly of the person. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Mark. I am so impressed. I am a fan. Now, let's go to your speech. Today, you will be evaluated by Toastmaster, by Toastmaster Mercy Mecos. And correct me if I'm wrong, Toastmaster Mercy is a distinguished Toastmaster and a past division governor.
Yes.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so far we have heard one evaluator. Now we're going to listen to our second evaluator, who is also a distinguished leader of Toastmasters. And if you notice, many of us, or if not all of us here, are very ordinary people, just like the guests who are present tonight. So you don't have to be a big somebody to be a Toastmaster. You don't have to be a big somebody to be somebody in Toastmasters. All you need to do, and all you need is actually that heart and the mind, the willingness to learn and be better, and you can be one of these amazing men and women. So our second speaker evaluator, after a long introduction, is a past division governor, a distinguished Toastmaster. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Mercy Mecos.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Normal. Congratulations, Toastmaster Mark, because you are working on your HPL, and it is. I do agree that it is not easy to work on your HPL. But first, let me tell you that you excelled at. You were able to nail the purpose of your speech. You were able to apply your leadership and planning skills. You were able to develop the plan. You were able to get or organize a guidance committee. And of course, the only thing you need to do is to really implement it. I also love the way you were able to embed yourself in your wonderfully crafted PowerPoint presentation. It was organized and I love it. And I think you should teach me on how to do that when you embed yourself as as a part of the PowerPoint presentation. Now let me give you some ways on how to make sure that you would have a successful HPL. First on the list is, yes, you were able to give the plan. You were able to lay out what we are expecting from your project. Let me just add a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. Contingency plans. What? Because of course this is our expectation. There are some unexpected things that would come up during the course of your program, of your project. Therefore, have that, inject that contingency plan with you. And you would also want to work on the voice variety. Let's go to some technicalities of your speech. The voice variety is very important because it is infectious. I would suggest you would add more excitement when you talk about your HPL, especially when you're saying that you are really excited about it. And of course, everybody's already excited, but what if there's that increased excitement in your voice? Therefore, I would suggest that you be in your speech. When you say being in your speech, it is as if you're already doing it. It is as if that you already have worked, have finished your HPL. The my so I therefore challenge you to make sure that you compactize a little bit of your speech, chip off some portions of your speech that would maybe lengthen or are not really important, and just put a little bit of a gist so that your speech would give us a detail and of your project, and at the same time we make sure that we have imagery of what you're expecting. And what I love about your speech, Toastmaster Mark, is that to be able to get high caliber members of your team is just an example or a reflection of charisma. And you have that, Toastmaster Mark. So work on it, and I'm sure that your HPL is going to be successful. Good evening.
Thank you very much, DTM Mercy, for that exhaustive evaluation of the speech of Toastmaster Mark. And Toastmaster Mark, I wish you all the best with your Project Pearl and wish Meycauayan all the best as well as you prepare for your 30th anniversary. That by itself is amazing achievement. And to the non-Toastmasters in the audience, imagine what you are joining if you decide to join Meycauayan Toastmasters. You're not joining a club of these individuals, but you're joining a club with a great history. So you'll get so much for your membership, the learnings, the camaraderie, and the history. Now let's move on to our third speaker tonight. Our third speaker is Toastmaster Jeff, who's working on level 2 of his project from the same learning path as our first two speakers, presentation mastery. And Toastmaster Jeff will be evaluated by an upcoming Toastmaster. I remember seeing our third evaluator in the speech contest of Division G. I cannot remember the contest, but I vividly remember her performance. So that only means that this evaluator was so good, was so impressive. I'm really, after I have contracted MCI, I am really bad with memorizing names, stuff, but I can remember the experience. So that's what I remember about our third speaker, the great experience she has given us during the contest. So Toastmaster Jeff, you will be evaluated, and correct me if I'm wrong, our third evaluator is a member of
I think connection problem.
Disconnection problem.
I think we may proceed with Bea.
Yes. Yes. Bea is our incoming area director for Area 1. She's from Baguio Ecosone Toastmasters Club. Let us give a warm welcome to Toastmaster Bea to evaluate Jeff Robles.
Congratulations, Bea.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Jeff, I loved your speech. I felt like the whole experience was as if I was reading a comic book. When you opened your speech, I immediately related to you because you connected with the audience, just like a comic book does. You wielded your powerful weapons of confidence and humor. I definitely felt the great energy because you were so positive all throughout when you were delivering your speech. You shared with us some very relatable stories and colorful scenarios when you talked about your job interview and the presentation contest. When you talked about your blunders in the job interview, it reminded me of my own blunders, and that even deepened further the way that I related to your speech. I love how you sprinkled humor all throughout. It kept the energy light and positive, but at the same time, while you were wielding your powerful weapons, you definitely met the objectives of the project, which was for you to get to know your communication style and for us to know the impact of your communication style to others. I really loved reading through this comic book, Toastmaster Jeff. And to make your comic book more enthralling, I would suggest for you to keep the eye contact. Perhaps keep your notes close to where the camera is placed so that you can quickly refer to it at the same time still keep the eye contact. So it's a bit of a challenge for us. Even me, I have that challenge sometimes when I struggle to look directly at the camera given the Zoom platform. And another thing that I would suggest would have the power of pause. So you had very powerful punchlines, Toastmaster Jeff, and I believe that you could even make them more powerful when you put in the right pauses in the right timing before you deliver your punchlines. So, overall, Toastmaster Jeff, your speech was definitely a page turner. You got all of us hooked onto your speech. And I believe that you are the superhero of your comic book. You're fully equipped with your superpowers to inform, to persuade, and give a positive impact not only here in Toastmasters, but to your personal and professional life. I look forward to hearing about your future adventures. Kudos and more power to you, superhero, Toastmaster Jeff.
All right. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bea. I'm sorry,
You're
fellow
welcome.
Toastmasters. PLDT decided to give me a pleasant surprise this evening. So I'm using my mobile phone, and gladly, I'm using a different provider. I lost my PLDT connections, including Sun and Smart. All right. So much for that. This happens during an online meeting. So it's always a good idea to be ready with a backup plan. Thank you very much, DTM Mercy, for mentioning that earlier. This is the backup plan. Now, so to all our speakers tonight, thank you very much. What you have shared with us on projects for you to complete your certain project, but you have also shared wonderful tidbits of wisdom and information that can really enrich our lives, our personalities. So thank you very much. My only challenge to all our speakers is when you work on your project, remember that you are not only trying to meet the requirements of your project, but you're also trying to become a better public speaker. So I would definitely amplify on some of the feedback of our evaluators that it's not just about the content of your speech, but it's also so much about your speech delivery. So eye contact, which is very easy to establish on an online platform, just look at the camera. But the biggest challenge in an online meeting is how we actually use our gestures, our hands, and vocal variety. Remember, the only way we can really add not drama, but add spice to our presentations in an online platform is to use an extensive range and width of our voice. So that's going to be a big challenge to all our speakers, including myself. Vocal variety is not very easy to learn, but with practice, we can definitely perform better. And to our evaluators, thank you very much for providing our speakers with helpful, specific evaluations. My only challenge to our evaluators, and this is a nitpick, if you may spend an extra seconds before you actually start your input, you may just mention the objectives of the project so that the other members and the non-Toastmasters in the audience would have a clear understanding of the objectives of the project. Other than that, it's a pleasure to listen to the evaluations of DTM Christine, DTM Mercy, and Toastmaster Bea. You are great evaluators, and I hope all of us will continue to learn from you. God bless you with your wisdom and your helpfulness in tonight's meeting. And to our three speakers, thank you and keep it up. Now, fellow Toastmasters, it's time to move on to our technical evaluations. And this is another thing that I love about the meeting tonight, Meycauayan Toastmasters, that you are calling your technical evaluators. No other fancy names. Because after all, they are technical evaluators. We have three technical evaluators tonight, our grammarian, counter, and timer, who are tasked to observe extensively all throughout the meeting on specific aspects of how we can be better communicators. Our first technical evaluator listened to how we use the English language in tonight's meeting. So, Toastmaster Juliet Castro, would love to hear your grammarian's report. Take it away, please.
Thank you, DTM Nomel. I am your grammarian for tonight, and for the sake of our guests, my role for tonight is to observe the usage of our English language, the grammars, and take note that this is not something to offend the speaker, but this is something to give a positive feedback for the proper use of the English grammar. So I myself falters from time to time. That's why I'm here at Toastmaster. I wanted to develop. I wanted to be developed. I wanted to be trained. So also for all of us. So do not be offended when yes. Do not be offended when you falter from time to time, because when we're nervous, that's something that is really something that happens. So confidence helps. So I'm also here to observe the germs and the gems of the night. Let's start with the germs. Well, almost everyone was very eloquent. They were very good. I only heard few things that were wrong. One mentioned which happened to release at the same time, which should be said as which happened to be released at the same time, because she was referring to a happening that was going to be happen during the same time that she was doing something. And then someone mentioned while he was determining the type of communication style, and he actually determined it, and he said, I was someone who is this type of a communicator, but which should have been said as, I am someone who is this type of a communicator. And there's also one who mentioned if you were the one in the shoes, so that he was referring to someone, to a happening that was happening in the past. If you were in the shoes of that person, that should be the proper sentence. As for the gems, we had a lot of them. I heard from GB, no excuses, only challenges. From Craig, spin. You were able to spin a falseness into truth. And from Jeff, 1 equals me, 2 equals my partner, and 3 equals God. From Craig again, when all of us fails with table topics, say whatever you have in mind. And then from, I think it was from Mark, the same pressure burst the balloon, the same pressure that burst the balloon and hardened the diamond. As for the use of the word of the night, I only heard it once from our DTM evaluator, general evaluator Nomel Ilongos, and one from the guest during the break time. So that will be all for the grammarian's report for tonight. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Juliet. Again, I'll reserve my feedback to all our technical evaluators once we heard all the reports. That's an ah. Sorry, fellow Toastmasters. I'm now really distressed. Expectations versus reality, but I'm back on my laptop. Our counter is Toastmaster Tess Garcia. Tess, take it away, please.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Let me share. I will share to you my screen. Wait for a moment. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
As the counter of the night, the purpose of the counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. So during the meeting, I have listened for the overused words like well, but, so, and including also the words that were repeated and for the long pauses. So for tonight, I will report to you the long pause, all the filler words that I have listened to. For the filler words, for TM Marley Biran, I have noted 8 filler words. For Toastmaster Armel, we have 2. Toastmaster Rai, we have 1. Toastmaster Melinda, we have 4. Toastmaster Mark, we have 5. Toastmaster Jeff Robles, we have 10. For Toastmaster Juliet, we have 8. Toastmaster GB, we have 4. Our Toastmaster Christine Temdique, 1. And for Toastmaster Mercy Mecos, we have 4. For the repetitive words, we have for Toastmaster Marley Biran, we have 2. For Toastmaster Jeff, we have 3. Toastmaster Juliet, 4. And we have 1 for Toastmaster Mercy. For the long pauses, Toastmaster Mar, 1. Toastmaster Rai, we have 5. Toastmaster Juliet, we have 3. And for other words like how do you call, we have that for Toastmaster Remelinda Banzuela. And for Toastmaster Jeff, we have 2 words like, you know. And I encourage everyone to refrain from these filler words so that we can be a good speaker next time. And for the long pauses that we have. Good evening, everyone, and back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tess. That's a well-noted list of filler words and filler sounds. Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, our third technical evaluator is a member who has been paying attention even before the club president rapped the gavel to call the meeting to order. And now we will find out why it's already 8:56 and we are at this point yet. So please welcome our timer, our club president, Toastmaster Sedi.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nomel. Please wait. I will just. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. I am your tonight's timer and I am responsible for monitoring the expected time given to every Toastmaster and the real time during the course of the meeting and their speaking opportunity as well. I will just share my screen. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, when it comes to expectation versus reality, it does not only apply when we used to have a romantic date with other people or what is happening we as people in all walks in life, or even when we are doing an online shopping, which is sometimes we were scammed, so that's the expectation versus reality. And now as Toastmasters, we also have this kind of expectation versus reality. To Zoom master, please allow me to share my screen.
You're allowed.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mark. Our expected time here since is 7 p.m. and in reality, we were able to follow what is the time, which is 7 p.m. We started the meeting at about 7 p.m. And then when it comes to our table topic session, congratulations to our 5 table topics speakers, because in expectation, you must deliver at about 1 to 2 minutes. And in reality, you were able to deliver your speech within the allotted time. So congratulations, Toastmaster Juliet, Rai, Jeff, GV, and Toastmaster Mercy. How just to our Toastmaster table topics evaluation, Toastmaster Craig, which is expected to deliver her evaluation for about 5 to 7 minutes. He delivered her evaluation at 7:53, which is overtime. And when it comes to our prepared speeches, all of our 3 prepared speakers were expected to deliver their speeches at about 5 to 7 minutes. Congratulations, Toastmaster Jeff, because you are the lone speaker who was able to deliver your prepared speech at 6:17. While the two, Toastmaster Remy and Mark, were overtime. But at least we were able to listen and learn something to all of them. And for our prepared speech evaluators, um, Toastmaster Christine and Toastmaster Bea, who in expectations deliver their speech, who should be delivering their speech at 2 to 3 minutes and able to deliver their speech evaluation within allotted time, while Toastmaster Mercy went a little bit of overtime at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And lastly, for our functionaries, congratulations, Toastmaster Juliet as our grammarian and Toastmaster Tess, because you were able to deliver your technical evaluations within allotted time. So fellow Toastmasters and friends, as Toastmasters and even persons in all walks in life, let us make use of our expected time to inspire, educate, and empower. Because in reality, that's are the things that really matter and we all need. So I would like to return the control to our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Nomel.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, our timekeeper for tonight, Toastmaster Sedi. So for all our technical evaluators, my challenge for you is consider your roles not just as leadership roles during the meeting, but also as opportunity for you to deliver a speech. Remember, by the end near the end of the meeting, during the evaluation program, you are presenting your report, and these are actually speeches. So what I would recommend is, instead of just presenting your report, you may want to come up with an opening statement and a closing statement, which actually envelope the body of your speech, which is your actual report. By doing so, you will not only practice leadership performing a specific role, but you will also have the opportunity to practice communication or public speaking by presenting your report. I commend Toastmaster Sedi because he actually did this. Toastmaster Sedi actually started his report with an opening statement. And remember when he talked about expectations versus reality, online shopping, etc. That's a very good opening. It would have been better had Toastmaster Sedi also wrap up the report by going back to that opening statement of expectations versus reality. Other than that, technical evaluators, Toastmasters Juliet, Tess, and Sedi, thank you very much. Your role is not easy. These are the three roles that I would normally avoid in a meeting because that would require you to perform or work from the very beginning up to the very end. While if you are a Toastmaster of the day, you have a downtime. If you are a table topics master of the day, you only have a specific portion. But technical evaluators, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, these are really difficult and challenging roles. So I always commend and I'm always impressed with members performing this role. So to the three of them, Toastmasters Julia, Tess, and Sedi, thank you very much. Congratulations. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, fellow Toastmasters, I am now guilty of pushing you beyond your time, 9 o'clock, but I would beg you to give me at least 3 more minutes. I'll just share with you my feedback, my general evaluation. Mr. Timer, time me 3 minutes because if I go over time, don't invite me again. All right. So,
Okay,
fellow Toastmasters, I'm just kidding. I really love tonight's meeting. It's so lighthearted. It's so light. And remember, our founder, Dr. Ralph Smedley, said that we Toastmasters learn best in moments of fun. And you actually had a light moment all throughout the meeting. Although some of the speeches are really very serious, some of the table topic speeches are also very serious, but that they are not too serious to dampen the light mood of everybody. And this is what I love about your meeting tonight. It's not too formal, but it does not lack the formality of a Toastmasters meeting. And because of that, I am going home. Again, I'm sorry, I am already home. I would like to make myself believe that I am actually in Meycauayan or in Marilao. So I'm definitely taking away a lot of wonderful tidbits of learnings from all of you. And this definitely will enrich me tonight. And I hope our non-Toastmasters in the audience would also consider this. Toastmasters is a gift that we can give to ourselves. And we can be very selfish about this gift because when we start with the program, we must focus on making ourselves a better speaker. Learn from the best, learn from the masters. And then as you learn, as you practice, you start sharing your input and your feedback to other members as well. That's why for almost a century now, we're still at it. And the expectations about Toastmasters and the realities about Toastmaster is so blurred that there is actually no gap. And this is the reason why there are so many of us who have benefited from the program. It's because our expectations of Toastmasters is the actual reality that we have. And this is best exemplified in tonight's meeting. Our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Armel, did a fantastic job of making sure everything is set, everything is planned and implemented accordingly. Our club president did a great job in opening the meeting with the necessary leadership and confidence of a club president. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sedi. Sometimes I would say, Toastmaster Sedi, that there is still some hesitation, but I would commend you for leading the club to excellence and performance and achievement this year. Toastmasters and the members of Meycauayan, thank you for your leadership. And to you also, Toastmaster Armel, I was with you when you became area director last year, so I was not expecting anything less in your performance tonight. What do you expect from an area director of the year awardee? Nothing but the best. And as you embark on a new responsibility, Toastmaster Armel, or soon to be DTM Armel. We wish you all the best. I hope that your hosting of tonight's meeting is a great first step in making sure that you will lead both Meycauayan and Division G to greater heights next year. So fellow Toastmasters, especially our non-Toastmasters, our guests in the audience, thank you very much for a golden evening. Tonight, our theme is about expectations and reality. But let us always remind ourselves, especially in the midst of this pandemic, there is actually no expectations whatsoever. It's a free reign for all of us. It depends on us. It's upon our very hands whether our reality is one that would push us down to the bottom pit, or work together, come together, and with one another, we can be better and stronger individuals. See, for more than a year, we've been meeting online, and yet we are growing stronger, growing healthier, and growing even better in mastering a technology that many of us are very unfamiliar with. So tap your shoulder, shoulders, fellow Toastmasters. I think Toastmasters said he's not timing me. I'm still seeing the green, so I'm just talking. I'm closing now. In closing, fellow Toastmasters, thank you for this great evening. I would cherish this. I have met new friends. I have met new amazing Toastmasters. I got to reconnect with great Toastmasters like DTM Christine, DTM Bang from Baguio, a very good friend of mine. And as if all this were not enough, expectations versus reality tonight, fellow Toastmasters. Toastmaster Mercy brought her cats with her. And I'm a big, big, big cat person. So whenever I hear the meows during the meeting, I am not distracted. I am actually enjoying every bit of it. And I wish I have my cats also with me now to close this evaluation. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. And to the guests, congratulations, especially if you decide to join Meycauayan Toastmasters. Back to you, Toastmaster Armel.
Wow, thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nomel. It's really our privilege to have you here tonight. We learned so much from you. And I hope this is your first time really. This is one of your first to have here, to be our guest here at Meycauayan. Thank you so much. And also at this point, before presenting to you our president, I would just like to share to you my personal opinion on reality versus expectation. My takeaway really is to savor what you have. It's okay to want more, but you can enjoy life so much more if you appreciate what you already have. Savoring or enjoying what you have is a great way to expand your joy in experiencing life. This is your Toastmaster of the evening. I am so thankful for all our distinguished guests for tonight and looking forward to have you again for another meeting. I would like to give the control to our president, Sedi Cortez.
Thank you so much, um, Toastmaster Rose, for being our
Armel.
Toastmaster Armel for being sorry.
Expectation versus reality, Sedi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Armel, for being our Toastmaster of the evening. And indeed, we were entertained by your Toastmastering. And before I proceed to our business portion, we will just make it quick. I just would like to hear from Toastmaster Lit because she wasn't able to speak a while ago. So, care to share your thoughts or your takeaway for tonight's meeting, Toastmaster Lit?
Good to be here. Well, just a thought. We'll expect something big, and later on, it will become a reality.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lit. It is short but inspiring. And I also would like to hear from our guests, from our non-Toastmaster guests. They are two. Mr. Mark De Leon, care to share your thoughts? What portion of the meeting you think you were very excited to look forward to?
Hello.
Hello.
No, I think yung ano po, ang galing, about ano, detalyado yung sa pillars, mula sa pillars sa oras. Yun, nakaka-challenge yun. So hopefully, maano ko yun. Gusto matutunan yung ganun. Yun lang ba? Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Mark. How about Rochelle?
Ayan, once again, good evening po sa lahat. Okay, I am looking forward to another discussion and lesson that not only feed our minds, but also feed our souls for the new lessons, no? We are not looking anymore to the different perspective view of life. Let's lend our hand together. Let's reach more let's reach more people together and help them to become more um kinakabahan ako.
It's okay.
Ayan, to be more, ayan po, to be more fluent in using English as communication language. Yun lang po. Thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you, Rochelle. How about, and now to our guests for some invitation. To distinguished Toastmaster Beng.
My dogs barked with your dog, so it's a little noisy at home.
Orchestra of dogs.
Okay. Anyway, yes, please do join us on our meeting this Thursday at at Synergy Toastmasters Club. Please do join us at our meeting this Thursday at Synergy Toastmasters Club. Our meeting will be at 7 to 9 p.m. So I'll send over to Toastmaster Armel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Beng. How about to our incoming area director, Bea?
Thank you so much, President Sedi. Yes, you are all invited to Baguio Ecozone Toastmasters Club. Our next meeting is on June 7. June 14. That's the second Monday of the month, and we also meet on the third Saturday. So I can also share the link in the chat here. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Bea. And Toastmaster Mercy.
Hello. Still inviting you to our meeting on Thursday, Synergy Toastmasters Club. We also have Baguio Eco Zone and Pine City Toastmasters Club meet every first, third, and fifth Mondays of the month. And our link will be posted there, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mercy. And last and but not the least, distinguished Toastmaster Nomel.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I've mentioned this already earlier, but my club, Imus Wagayway Toastmasters Club, we meet every Sunday. That's every Sunday, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But we invite everybody to log in at 1:45 because we begin our meetings with energizers. So that's every Sunday. My other club meets every Saturday, 10 to 11 p.m. Philippine time, because that's a club based in Bahrain. If you are free, you are most welcome to join our club. I'll send the links of our meetings to Toastmaster Armel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nomel. And to our guests as well, we had a great meeting tonight. And before I adjourn the meeting, I also would like to invite you to our meeting next June, which is on the second Tuesday, June 8, 2021, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So once again, thank you so much to our dearest guests for finding time in visiting our club tonight. We really appreciate your presence. Before I end this meeting, to our club members, we will have let us not leave the Zoom meeting because we will have the announcement for our club newly elected officers. Now, by the power vested in me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I call this meeting adjourned.